Hey friends, Jim Fortin here, MindAuthorityNetwork.com, and tonight we're talking with ViSalus about how to actually maximize their approach with the new challenge, the crazy, crazy new approach, which is just awesome. So, Bill, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm fantastic and excited about the new changes because it just reduces the risk to almost zero. So this is going to be an amazing season right now.
Well, that's absolutely for sure, and I'll say through the call, everyone coming on, please mute yourself unless you're going to ask a question in just a bit so we can get a good quality call. So, Bill, I've got exactly 55 minutes on this call, and we want to use every bit of it well. What do you think, and I'm going to open up for questions. I'm going to give you guys suggestions, and then we'll post this on the Mind Authority Network. But what do you think the biggest challenge for people going back to old prospects is?
Well, I think it's their fear of rejection because they know they weren't interested before, so they're expecting them to have the same response they had last time. And so I think a lot of times people just mentally are preparing themselves to hear no instead of help them overcome whatever objection they had with the confidence that they have with what the new campaign is offering them.
Okay. That being said, what are you coaching them to do to go back to these people again? Because it's so easy. You know a fair amount about my material. It's so easy to say, hey, guys, you shouldn't be doing that. That's all left brain. It's all to the brain. It's all blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's a whole different matter to get them to be able to do it with confidence. So what are we doing so far to be able to get them to go back with the confidence that you know they need to have to go back?
Well, you know, because like you said, a lot of the language patterns, we've even posted some ideas. So what we're trying to do is actually say, we'll make the calls with you. I mean, we'll do a three-way call where I may not be talking to the person, but I'll be on the line listening in, so we know that they'll pick up the phone and actually do it. And if they follow the suggestions that you've already posted, let alone what we shared tonight, I'm already seeing a lot more success from people. They're surprised because they're finding people very interested because of the guarantee. And guys, you can go *6 if you want to mute out your lines. The *6 will mute out your lines.
Yeah, please.
And
please mute yourself out.
So, with us actually being on the phone with them to do 2 or 3 of the initial calls, they have their confidence back because they're seeing that the language patterns are actually working and that the new additions to the challenge actually do catch their attention. So that's what we've been doing, is actually physically helping them make the calls so that they can kind of break the ice.
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight then, and I appreciate that, what we're going to do is we're going to dialogue here for a bit and open up here in a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to give you some easier language patterns. I've actually written them out here. These are ones I've used for years. Each one is literally 2 lines. And they're going to be language patterns that when people call them back and they still say no, you're going to be able to bind them. Now, people on the Mind Authority Network have heard me talk about binding people. You've got to bind people, which means you've got to nail them down. Also, I want to point out for all of you that are members of the Mind Authority Network, some of your participation took a dip there for a while. Whatever you do, get back on the website and watch the videos, at least half a dozen, where I give you up to 17 different responses for I don't have the money for it. All you've got to do is pick 2 or 3 and learn those 2 or 3 just like they flow off your tongue like silk. Boom. And you'll find that people are actually, they're coming into the fold a whole lot quicker. So, Bill, what I want to do is person by person here, before I give actual language patterns, I want to open up the people on the call, and I want them to tell me things because I want to interact with them. I want them to tell me what they've been hearing so that I can coach them through new language to get the person to say yes. For example, when we posted yesterday on Facebook, somebody said that they'd gone back to people, and the person said, I tried it before, and it didn't work. Now, when somebody says, I've tried it before and it didn't work, there are about 4 different places you can go with that because that's called a nominalization. It doesn't mean anything. Neurologically, I've tried what before, and what about it didn't work? There's 2 components to that psychologically. So we have to start breaking stuff like that down. So if I can get people, actually anybody wants to, what I want is a person at a time just to open up, you hit *6, and I want you to tell me what kind of resistance you're getting, provided that you're already comfortable enough making the calls, and then we'll come back to Bill's comment about people that aren't. So anyone at all.
Hi, this is Tina Berg in Spokane.
Hey, Tina. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's move a little fast here. So, what are you finding? Well, what's your challenge?
What's my challenge? I need to lose weight. I'm in my mid-50s, and I got that wonderful little middle going on, and nothing fits. So that's my challenge, and also to help people because I'm a promoter of ViSalus.
Okay. Two things here, guys. I think it was Brian earlier before you guys got on. I'm creating a program for you folks. It'll be done. It's not done yet. It's taking me a lot more hours than I thought. But he had talked about, he said, well, people don't want to take, and this will help everyone on the call. He said people don't want to take responsibility for themselves. Well, that's absolutely true to a large degree in this country. What's missing and what a lot of people don't understand, including a lot of people promoting ViSalus, and a friend of mine that's a big juicer, and his national name asked me to create a program to keep his students on track. What a lot of people don't understand, and this falls into my wheelhouse, is that a lot of these people that you're talking to are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 100 pounds overweight. Right, Tina?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, a lot of these people will tell you, and Bill, I'll roll all this back into the call again. Tina, they'll tell you things like, I've tried, but junk food's easy for me, and they're always going to Burger King and McDonald's and Wendy's and all these places, right? Lots of junk food.
Yep.
Okay. What a lot of people do not know is that it's not just a matter of self-control. That's why I'm creating this program for you guys, which will be able to keep you on track and them on track. What's happening is when people go into, let's say, for example, McDonald's, when they eat McDonald's food, what happens, and this has all been tested neurologically and psychologically, when people eat, by the way, everyone make sure except Tina, make sure you're muted, *6. What happens is when they go into McDonald's, they'll eat this food, and what happens very quickly is there's a physiological response in the brain, and that the brain releases dopamine. Dopamine makes people feel good. So what happens is when they eat these fries and they get this sugar at McDonald's, it creates a release of dopamine, which makes the person feel good. Then what happens, it's called the neuroassociative condition. The brain links that feeling good to McDonald's. Then the brain, it just starts happening automatically. It's an unconscious habit, and people become addicted to junk food. That's why they say, I'm not going to go to McDonald's, I'm not going to go to McDonald's, and then they do it again and again and again. So it's not just they don't have self-control, it's that people are addicted to sugar, and also the way that the brain was created, who knows why it's still that way, but it is. Thousands of years ago, when food wasn't easy to get, what would happen is, as animals, when we found food, the body would gorge on food to stock up on food. Well, the brain still has part of that left over, so we are hardwired to eat as many carbs as we possibly can because it responds back to the old thing where we weren't sure when we were going to get food again. So part of helping your people is education, and I'd give anything if ViSalus had information on this, and they don't for you guys, and I'll help you with it. Another part is actually the helping them stay on track mentally. So, Tina, the purpose of this call, though, is to help you guys kickstart your year and to go out and to revitalize your old prospects, people that told you no, okay? So how can I help you getting people that you've approached before that have said no? What can I do, and what are you finding now when you go back out to them? By the way, whoever, please mute yourself in the back, *6. Tina, are you still there, and what are you finding? Okay, Bill, are you there?
We must have lost her line. Yeah, I'm here. So what I'm finding is when we're going to people, because of the rationalizations, is they're always looking for the catch. What is the catch? What is the fine print? So I've run into this a couple times. Most of the responses have been favorable, but when you go to them and say, have you heard about the new changes on the challenge, and then you start talking about the guarantee, then they say, well, there's got to be a catch. There's got to be a reason why. And it's always, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So I'm not interested.
Okay, well, let's follow that. I've got you on the call then. I've got you. Let's follow that. First off, Bill, for the purpose of us being as ethical as we possibly can, I've read the guarantee. The guarantee looks like to me there is no catch. You do your 90-day program. If for any reason, now they've left themselves open because they say if you're not fully satisfied, that leaves the whole world open. Because what if a person, for example, my goal is to lose 100 pounds and they only lose 50, and then they say they're not fully satisfied, but yet they've lost 50 pounds. So they've left themselves open in a big way, which is actually to the ViSalus disadvantage because people will take advantage. Not many, but some will. But from what I understand, Bill, and help me with this because I'll give you a solution to this, it looks like it's a pretty much ironclad guarantee. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, meaning at the end of 90 days, if you're not fully convinced that we can help you or you're not fully satisfied, let us know and we'll return your money to you. That's what we're saying, right?
Yep, that's what we're saying.
Okay, well, we have a couple of lines here. Everyone get out pencil and paper. Everyone, and we'll walk through this slowly, and this will be posted on the Mind Authority Network. Everyone get out pencil and paper and follow along, and I'll repeat these a couple of times. First, what you want to do is you have to address, they're giving you resistance. They're not believing you. And you have to address that first before you keep going. If they say, it's too good to be true, you can't just skip over it and then go keep going with your pitch. You have to say things like, Bill, I completely get it. And I understand that you might believe that it's too good to be true. Let me show you something. Bill, what I would do is I would actually, every member that's talking to people, I would have that guarantee. I would print it out on a nice piece of paper, make it pretty, make it look good, have it laminated, and show them so that they have visual proof, number one, that it's not too good to be true. And then you got to do that first. Then you can go into, Bill, I certainly understand you saying that it's too good to be true. Here, let me show you. Then you walk Bill through it. Here, point A, point B. See here at the bottom it says if you're not fully happy after 90 days, you get your money back. Then you can go into Bill. So now that now that I've shown you that the guarantee, is what I say that it is there any reason you can't get started now? That's where I go next. Is there any reason you can't get started right now? Would be my next question. All right. Everyone write that down. Then, if they come back to you with objections and they keep giving you blah, 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 because see, people love to squirm away. They love to kind of just work their way out of being sold. This is, and a mindset also for you guys I want you guys to get is, if you all firmly believe in ViSalus, which I know that you do, you owe this to them. You have an obligation to help them lose weight because you know it's going to do great things for them. So let's say they're not yet fully convinced. Let's say they're kind of still on the fence after that. This is exactly what you say. Everyone write this down. Bill, I understand. And it's okay if you're not yet fully convinced. Go ahead and get on the program and convince yourself. I'll repeat it. It's okay, Bill, it's okay if you're not yet fully convinced. Go ahead. You've got I'll toss this in. You've got a 90-day guarantee, as you've already realized. Get on the program and convince yourself. Now, what's hidden in there is this. Psychologically, Bill, language patterns have hidden psychology behind them. What's hidden in there, I say it's okay if you're not fully convinced. What I'm doing now, instead of pushing back on you, I'm acknowledging that you're not yet fully convinced. Also, listen to my language. I didn't say it's okay if you're not yet convinced. And I didn't say it's okay if you don't believe me yet. I said it's okay if you're not yet fully convinced. Even the word yet implies that you will at some point be fully convinced. So it's okay if you're not yet fully convinced, Bill. You've already seen that you've got a 90-day guarantee. Go ahead, get on the program, and convince yourself. What I'm doing there at the end is telling you that, what? I'm not going to convince you. Convince yourself. And we tend to believe things that we discover for ourselves instead of you telling me, when I discover it, I believe it more. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Completely. I love it.
Okay, so that is one absolute takeaway. I'm going to repeat it one more time, and then I'm going to go to the next one. And use your regular inflection, as you guys have learned, your regular voice tone. Bill, it's okay. I understand. It's okay if you're not yet fully convinced. Go ahead. You've realized here you've got your 90-day guarantee. Go ahead, give them the program, and convince yourself. So that's one pattern if you get past the guarantee and they're still giving you resistance. Now, here, and Bill, any questions about that one before I go to the next one?
No, I love that because it is opening up this thing of saying, the first pattern that you said it was, it's inviting them to find out. Yeah, it's giving them permission to look at it further, but then you're calling them to action at the end of it. So I think that's brilliant. Exactly,
and it's giving them permission to resist. See, the thing about resistance is if you don't acknowledge resistance, people push back. That's, for example, in traditional selling. If people give you an objection and you don't acknowledge that objection, they keep pushing back harder. But consider in the past when you've been in a selling situation and you bring up an objection and the salesperson, they acknowledge it, they take care of it, that lowers your resistance. So when you say, it's okay if you're not yet fully convinced, you're acknowledging my resistance and you're also making my resistance okay, and then you're telling me, hey, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Discover it for yourself. That's the psychology hidden in that pattern. Next pattern. Bill, let me ask you this, and I'm going to put you on the spot. If you don't know the answer, that's fine, because we're role playing here and we're talking.
Right.
What do you think the number one thing that keeps people from actually hopping on board is? What do you think the number one thing keeps people from saying, you know what, boom, I'm on, let me in? What's that number one thing?
You know, I think it's probably fear of failure.
Okay. Well, that's actually in the wheelhouse that I'm talking about. The reason people do not act when you're with them, let's say, for example, you tell them they can lose 50 pounds or that they can make, an extra 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, whatever it is a month. The reason they do not act is one thing and one thing only. And by the way, there is this language pattern. There's a whole video on it on the website. Type in objection response, and there's a language pattern. But the number one people do not act is because they are uncertain of the outcome. It's very important everyone gets that. They're uncertain of the outcome. So, Bill, let me ask you this. When you were uncertain of an outcome opposed to being relatively certain of an outcome, which situation were you more likely to take action upon?
I would avoid where I was uncertain.
Exactly. But yet if you, let's say you were going to buy something and you were uncertain that product could really help you, but yet you were going to buy a comparable product and you were more certain that product could help you, you're more likely to buy the product that you were certain could help you, right?
Correct. That's right.
Okay. So everyone write this down again. It's 2 lines. This is what I would say. Bill, I completely get it. However, if you knew absolutely for certain that ViSalus could help you drop the 30 pounds that you said you wanted to lose, you would get on the program, wouldn't you?
Yes.
What are you going to say?
Absolutely. If I knew
exactly
that ViSalus would do it, I would get on it. Yes.
Exactly. So notice how I phrased it. I phrased it in a way they have to say yes. So I'm going to say it again. Everyone write this down. If you knew absolutely for certain, and write this down exactly as I give it to you. If you knew absolutely for certain that ViSalus could help you blank, what goes in that blank is what you know that they want. They told you they want to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 100 pounds, or they want to make an extra $5,000 a month. Bill, if you knew absolutely for certain that ViSalus could help you make an additional $10,000 a month, you would become a promoter, wouldn't you? You have to say yes. Okay.
Have to.
So what you're doing is you're forcing them to say yes by asking it in that exact way. I'll repeat it one more time, and then I'll finish up, and we'll move on. These two also, I wrote these out this afternoon. In my opinion, these are two of the most powerful phrases I can give you tonight, because they nail people down. And that's what you've got to do when you go back, because, see, the reason they didn't buy last time, and I use that as a colloquial phrase, is because they were uncertain. We have to eliminate that uncertainty. So the phrase one more time is, if you knew absolutely, and you have to put that in there, if you knew absolutely for certain that ViSalus could blank, you would get on the program or become a promoter, wouldn't you? And then go quiet. Go quiet and let them speak, because the only possible answer is yes. Then you go into, well, Bill, I've already shown you here that you've got an absolute 90-day money-back guarantee. It's obvious. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So let's get you enrolled.
Excellent.
Any questions about that, Bill?
No, I mean, that's just clear. If you could do that. In fact, I tried a version of that because you had typed something out on that on our page yesterday. And so I was at the bank today, and I talked to a teller who knows what I'm doing because of all my deposits, and she goes, "How's it going?" And I said, "Well, if you knew for certain that ViSalus would get you to your goals, would you want to do it?" And then she got all nervous. "Well, you're going to make me do it, aren't you?" I said, "No, but if you knew it was for certain, you'd do it, wouldn't you?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Then I got to tell you about this guarantee." And then I went off.
Okay.
On that. So it worked beautifully.
Two things there. Keep it, okay. First off, I want everyone to test this. I guarantee you, if you talk to 100 people and you ask it exactly as I give it to you, they will say yes. Now, Bill said he changed it a little bit. You'd want to do it. That actually is not as powerful as saying you would get on the program or you'd become a promoter. You have to finish with wouldn't you, which is a question, and it's a straightforward question, wouldn't you? Instead of, just do it, wouldn't you? Because then you're asking a question and you're prompting them to say yes to that question. So the exact phrase, and do not change my words, anyone on the call, Susan, if you knew absolutely for certain that we could help you lose that 20 pounds, you would get on the program, wouldn't you? She will say yes. Boom. All right, so you guys take those two out, and especially anytime you get any kind of resistance whatsoever, the resistance is because of skepticism, because people have heard all kind of stuff over the years. They've been on this diet and that diet and this diet and that diet, yet we see people losing 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 pounds on ViSalus. So these are two that you must make part of your toolbox. So I'm going to scroll back here to the top again. Bill, do you want me to cover a couple of answers that I wrote out? Somebody actually,
yes,
a couple of people posted on Facebook. Okay. So the first things first, when you go back to people, they're going to have resistance to some degree. When they told you no the first time, in their mind, they're thinking, okay, well, Bill told me no. So what you have to do when you go back to them, and I've written this out, you have to go back, and I wouldn't go back and say, hey, Bill, I'm all pumped up. We have a brand new challenge. See, Bill doesn't care because Bill's long forgotten about me. What I would do is I'd go back to Bill, and I'd say, hey, Bill, remember a couple of months ago when we talked about ViSalus and you didn't do it? Well, you're probably already thinking that I'm coming back again and I'm going to try to get you back into the program. Or, you're probably already thinking that it might not work for you, whatever reason you told me last time. When I say you're probably already thinking it might not work for you, if they told me that last time, I'm going to go back and say, Bill, you're probably already thinking, or you're probably still thinking it won't work for you. There you go. I got it. I got the rhythm. You're probably, if they said last time, well, it won't work for me, you go back and you say, Bill, you're probably still thinking that it won't work for you. What's Bill going to do? Bill's going to say what?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Why would he change his mind, right? When you say that, you're probably already thinking or still thinking. You're probably still thinking it won't work for you, which is the main reason they didn't do it in the first place. Get back to what we just talked about, because they weren't absolutely certain, because we do what we're certain about generally. So, Bill, you're probably still thinking, there's the phrase, you're probably still thinking that it won't work for you. Bill's going to say, right. Boom. Then you go into, what, Bill, you have to pace him. Bill, I completely get it, and I understand. Let me tell you why I'm coming back to you. The program has completely changed. It's a brand new program, and the reason you didn't do it last time is because you weren't certain that it could help you, or you weren't certain that it could get you to your goals. Bill, we now have a 90-day, 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Let me show you. That's the exact way, and I kind of just fell into that, Bill. It's all recorded, but that's the exact way that I'd go back to somebody.
I love it. Can you say that again? Can you review that again? Because I love that. That's powerful for some conversations I've been having.
Okay, I didn't write that out, but I'm going to just think through this again. And again, folks, please remember to have yourself on *6. What I would do is, let me think through this. I'd say, Bill, you're probably still thinking that, ViSalus can't help you. Or, Bill, you're probably still thinking that ViSalus can't help you lose the 45 pounds that you want to lose.
Right.
You're making a statement that you're getting in their head, okay, with that, because they're saying yes. Bill, I completely understand, or I completely get that, which means you're pacing them and you're affirming. Bill, I completely understand. Yeah. Next, you go into the new program. Bill, the reason I'm coming back to you is because ViSalus has an amazing new program. Then I'm going to go on and say, Bill, most likely the reason you didn't hop on board the first time is because you weren't certain that ViSalus could help you lose the weight.
Right.
Well, we now have a 90-day ironclad money-back guarantee. I want to show it to you. So even at this point, it's not a matter of you believing that you can lose the weight. You're guaranteed to get the results that you want, or it's going to cost you absolutely nothing. When can we talk about this?
Excellent. Excellent.
So again, I didn't write that down as I was going. It just came off the tip of my tongue, but this will be on the recording for those that like that. Now, different things are going to appeal to different people. For those who like what I just said, go back through the recording on the website, write it out, and here's the key, folks. Learn it. When I learned all this stuff years ago, it just flows off my tongue now, but I would learn the language patterns, and I would practice, and I would practice, and I would practice, and I'd practice until I was just flawless at the patterns. You've got to make this look like a part of your regular vocabulary. And I'm telling you this, and Bill knows this, every sale comes down to the words and phrases that you say. Bill's very successful in ViSalus, and he can tell you that what you say will either close the sale or lose the sale. Correct, Bill?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's why it is so important. And even though that he probably hasn't consciously practiced, I guarantee you Bill knows what he's going to say and when he's going to say it, and that is the reason he is so successful in making the money that he's making in ViSalus. All you have to do is master this material. I mean, it might even take you 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Just master it, and you will find your business growing for you. Okay, Bill, somebody else posted.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, a lot of you guys, know that transparency and genuineness is powerful, but without the right language patterns, we cannot always communicate our genuineness, and that is what these language patterns help to do, is cut through the noise to where they can hear your heart. So I would strongly encourage you, and I'll just say this, those that aren't on his trainings through our group, you can just go to www.epicmindset.info. I made that so it's an easier to remember link to go to Mind Authority Network and register. So epicmindset.info will get you there, and you can get all these trainings, not only for what to say, but also his zero-effort performance stuff is out of this world. It's excellent stuff.
We've got better stuff coming next couple of weeks, and I want to keep going here because we'll come back to that, but I've got an amazing, I think it's one of the best programs I've ever done in my life, and it should be up next couple of weeks. I mean, it's taking me hours to do, longer than I thought, but it's about how to change your habits. Literally, it's all neurological. It's not any mumbo-jumbo left brain. It's, and 20 years of research has gone in, university research, how people change. And I'm breaking this down step by step so that people can actually stay on the challenge, so they can feel good about themselves, and they can help their prospects and people they bring on stay on the challenge. Okay, a couple of things here. Bill's right. You have to be, and research has demonstrated that if you're not genuine, people know it. They read your body language, your voice inflection, your voice tone. They know it. However, I have seen people, Bill, that are the most genuine, sweet people in the world, and they couldn't sell, they can't sell anything. Yeah. Folks, you've seen it. Folks, and I'm sorry I'm moving so fast because we've got a lot I want to cover. Plain and simple, and agree, disagree, there are some MLM trainers out there who tell people, well, no, you're not selling, you're sorting for a living. And I hope not to contradict anybody important on this call, but you know what? Anytime you ask people for money, I don't care what it is, whether it's ice cream or paint or food or ViSalus, anytime you ask people for money, a sale has been conducted. You folks, plain and simple, are in sales, and to be in sales, you have to have the skill set applicable to professional selling people. And the biggest skill sets you can have, 3 things you guys have heard me say before. You have to be able to self-motivate yourself. You have to be able to prospect, and you have to be able to close. Without one of those 3 legs, you will never be as successful as you possibly can. Okay, next objection. Somebody posted on Facebook, I've tried it before, and it didn't work. Bill, have you heard that one before?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Hear that one a lot.
Okay. Well, what happened here? Well, Bill, tell me before I tell you what I think. Tell me what you think's happening when people say, "Oh, it didn't work, Bill. I tried it, Bill. It didn't work." What do you think What do you think happened?
Well, I think it's their own lack of discipline, and most of the time I find out what they got on. They didn't really try anything. They appeased people by buying a bag of shake, and then drink a couple shakes, and then they could say, I tried this, but it didn't work. But really, they just never did it in the first place.
Exactly. So here's how we're going to nail them down. And I will actually, Bill, what I've got to do is I won't have time after this call. I've got another one and one after that. But I will type this out in a PDF, and I will post it verbatim on the Mind Authority Network. Okay. What I'll do is there will be the call on the site in the regular section, and then below the call there will be a PDF. And the PDF will have everything we've talked about in terms of language patterns. But here's one also. I've tried it before, and it didn't work. Now, what many people do is they start responding back without really attacking the objection. What I would say is this. If Bill said to me, hey, I've tried it before and it didn't work, I'd say, Bill, I certainly understand that, but let me ask you, what didn't work? And then I'd get quiet. What didn't work? Instead of answering and saying, blah, 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 oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, which is what people do because we have a tendency to do that, Bill, let me ask you, what didn't work? Now I'm getting Bill to confess, well, I tried it for 3 weeks and I fell off board or whatever. Well, no wonder it didn't work. This is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to nail Bill's hide down. I'm going to say, Bill, the fact that you tried it the first time means you were looking to solve a weight problem. Can Bill argue with that?
No.
He can't. You can't, can you?
I love it. No.
The fact, and this is the exact language pattern, the fact that you tried it the first time means you're looking to solve a weight problem. I am forcing him to say yes. Then I'm going to put him in a bigger bind. I'm going to say, well, Bill, let me ask you, have you dropped the weight you wanted to drop since you stopped the challenge? What's Bill most likely going to say?
No.
No, exactly. Exactly. So notice how, and this is a language pattern, the fact that you tried. Bill can't say, no, I didn't do it. So, and the pivotal language word there is fact. The fact that you tried it the first time, and then I gave meaning to it, means you were looking to solve a weight problem. I am forcing him to say yes. Then I'm going to bind him. Have you dropped the weight you wanted since you stopped the challenge? Now he's going to say no. Notice how no, it's no longer about ViSalus. It's about Bill not following through, yet I've never spoken it, yet it's implied. Are you with me so far, Bill?
Absolutely. Excellent.
Okay, now, the second part of that is this, and this will just nail their hide down. Bill, the program has worked for millions of people. I lost 40 pounds. It generally doesn't work for one of two reasons. One, you weren't serious and ready, or two, you didn't follow the program exactly as it was designed. Which of these would be the case for you? Notice now, Bill.
I probably didn't use the way I was supposed to. Yeah, so I kind of do a lame confession. You're right.
Exactly. Notice by how exactly what I said, the program has worked for millions of people. I lost 47 pounds. It generally doesn't work for one of two reasons. One, you weren't serious and ready, or two, you didn't follow the program exactly as it was designed, which would be the case for you. Now I'm making him confess and say, you know what, it's not that it didn't work for me, it's that I didn't do it. Now I have nailed his hide down. Then you go back into, by the way, I know I'm giving you guys a lot, just go through this and go through it and go through it. It's only an hour, not even that, 50 minutes when we're done with this. Then I go back into, well, Bill, you know what, you said that you didn't, just because you just asked him, Bill, you said you hadn't lost the 40 pounds yet. We have a brand new, off-the-charts, 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee. If I can help you lose that 30 pounds, well, you get back on the challenge again. See what they say?
Yes.
Yes. Most will say yes. If they say no, I would say, well, most will say yes. Okay, so I'm giving you a contingency. Well, then great, get them back on the challenge. Just assume the close. If they say, well, no, I'd say, well, Bill, I'm a little confused here. Let me help you. You were on the program the first time because you wanted to lose 40 pounds. You didn't lose the 40 pounds because you didn't follow the program. Now, am I hearing you say you're okay with keeping that 40 pounds on? That's what I would say.
Well, no. Yeah, well, no, I'm not saying that. Well, yeah, but yeah, that is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying, exactly. So, Bill, if you're not saying that, then what I would say, Bill, in real life, well, if you're not saying that, then what are you saying? Now, mind you, folks, you can't do this in a combative way. Just talk to him. I'm talking in a different tone because we're training here, but just talk to him. Bill is very good at this, guys. Watch Bill talk to people. I'm moving a little fast, so I'm not interacting as much because I want to cover a lot. But in the normal conversation, I would slow down, and it would be just back and forth with Bill. And Bill's very good at that, and that is a skill set. So just talk to them in your normal tone. Okay, so somebody else posted, I like to eat real food. Have you heard that one before, Bill?
Yes. Hear that one a lot.
What do you say?
I want to eat. I love real food. Well, and Catherine did a good job when I saw her talk about that. Is I usually say, well, I still eat real food. This isn't removing real food. It's just replacing 2 meals a day, and you still get to eat real food 2 or 3 times a day with snacks and 1 main meal. Is what I said.
But you know what I've noticed there, and that actually sounds good, but it still doesn't really convert anybody. because we haven't put them in a bind yet. We haven't taken their head and slapped them upside the back of the head and saying, "What are you thinking? You're being stupid for saying that." Now we don't say that, but that's what we're doing. So what I would say when somebody says, "I like to eat real food," what I would say is, Bill, I appreciate the same thing, but the fact that we're even talking means that the real food you're eating, it may be tasty, but it's keeping you overweight.
Yes.
How can they argue with that?
That's excellent.
They can't argue. They can't say, but now you put them in a bind, and what you've equated is their real food is keeping them fat. Now you put them in a bind, and they have to squirm to get out of that bind, which means they now have to listen to you. Okay, now people have said, I don't have the time. Folks, go to the Mind Authority Network. I've given you in the slide of mouth patterns. In the ViSalus section, there are, I believe, 3 videos, if not 2, where I give you 17 different responses, 1, 2, 3-line responses to I don't have the time. And then the other one was I don't have the money. I've also covered that in the Mind Authority Network. So let me see what else we got here. Bill, what else do we have you want to cover, Bill?
See. The other one I run into is, well, you already covered it. It was I don't have the money, which just doesn't hold any water. Let me think here as far as one more topic.
While you're thinking on that, before I forget, because I'm right-brained and I'm all over the place, Bill, if you've got somebody you want to help here, let me give you something here for everyone on the call. If you've got someone you want to help, a family member, and you know, because we've seen it, all the weight people have lost, and you know that you can help them, and they're still giving you objection after objection after objection. This is what I would say. At this point, I call it taking the gloves off. You're taking the boxing gloves off, and you're going to knock them out. This is what I would say, and I would say all of this with genuine and authenticity. I mean, it's not our place to talk over anybody, but I would say, Bill, I've told you this, I've told you that, you said this, you said that. Bill, there's only 2 reasons you'd not do this. 1, you don't believe ViSalus can help you, or 2, you don't believe in yourself. Now, I've shown you where you've got a 90-day full money-back guarantee. So it doesn't even matter if you believe that ViSalus can help you. I'm showing you right here that you're fully guaranteed. So let me ask you this. Is it that you don't believe that you can lose weight and go quiet?
Yes.
Because guess what? That's a whole different objection, Bill. That's a whole different can of worms for people. And many times when I would do hypnosis, I haven't done it in 10 years, but when people would come to me, I'd say, let me ask you, how many diets have you been on over the last 20 years? And people would say, oh my gosh, I've been on every diet in the world. I've been up, I've been down, I've been up, I've been down. Well, what most novice hypnotists would do is they would just start a hypnosis session. What I had to do is first, before I could ever do any kind of hypnosis change, we had to attack the belief that they could even change. Because most people, even though they want to change, they don't believe they can change. Does that make sense?
No, yes, and you're hitting an excellent point here, because what you're bringing a leading question with your language patterns. Because one thing I have said this week is really the only reason not to do this now is if you don't want to change.
Yeah, well, we're in the same.
So yeah, right. So what would something I could say to them from that topic? Because that is actually one of the things I have said to people.
This is okay, verbatim, and I'll type this out later tonight. Bill, I've been talking about this, and I'm gonna, guys. This is what I do for a living, so it flows off my tongue. You can take it, you cannot take it. But Bill, the fact that we're talking means that you're serious about you're interested in losing weight. Every way I've told you that I can help you, you keep shooting down. Bill, there's only 2 reasons you would not do this. 1, you don't believe ViSalus can help you, or 2, you don't believe that you can lose weight. Now, Bill, I've already showed you how you've got a full 90-back ironclad money, full 90-day ironclad money guarantee. So is it that you don't believe that you can lose weight? I go quiet.
Yeah, I don't.
I'll type that out for you. But that's what I would give them both, because you're right. It's what happens, Bill, is that people don't believe they can change, but see, nobody wants to admit that to themselves. So what they do is they then translate that into the objection of I don't have time, or I don't have the money, or I need to do something, but I'll do it later. And then, again, I call those brass knuckles, take the gloves off. What 2 reasons you'd not do this? 1, you don't believe ViSalus can help you, or 2, you don't believe in yourself. I've showed you the 90-day guarantee. Let me ask you, Bob, or let me ask you, Bill, which is it? Boom. It's called a bind again. It's called a double bind.
Yes.
The power in that statement, Bill, is this. I know that you've got kids, your son plays basketball, and what you could do is you could say, do you want to clean your room before the game or after the game? It's not implied. It's not a matter of will he clean his room. It's a matter of when he cleans his room,
Right.
before the game or after, right?
Right.
In the way that you ask. That's called a bind. That's what I teach people to do. The more you can bind people, if you don't bind them, they're going to squirm out. So everything I'm giving you here binds people. If you do not bind them, they will squirm. They will actually find ways not to do things. If you believe, which I know that you do, if you believe in what you do, you have an obligation to help these people. Because guess what? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months from, a year from now, you will have made a difference in their life. Bill, let me add something else here for everyone on the call.
Yeah.
Is that many of you go out there and you think, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be all nice, and I'm going to be pretty, and I'm going to be cute, and I'm going to help these people, and you let them sell you. Because anytime you come together, a sale is made. They sell you on not doing ViSalus, or you sell them on doing ViSalus. But make no mistake, somebody is selling somebody. The question is, who is getting sold? And if you're not persuasive and you're not influential and you're not using language patterns and the things that you're learning, guess what? You're wasting your time because you are being sold. You're the one there investing your time. They're the ones telling you no. They walk away. They don't do anything differently, and you've wasted your time. And Bill, you've seen that go on forever with people.
Absolutely. They're buying the product of apathy. They're being sold that apathy is the way to go.
Yeah,
Not rocking
absolutely.
the boat is the way to go. That's right.
Absolutely. Right. We've got 9 more minutes, Bill. What else can I help with on this call, or is there anything else on this particular call?
Well, if somebody wants to jump in and ask a question, I've got one more thought I have for him, but does anybody have another one I haven't thought of?
This is Katie Myers calling. This is Katie Myers. Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
There's a couple that I hear, and I know some of this has been addressed before too. One of them is, I'm not a salesperson, and I don't do network marketing. I don't believe in network marketing, and I like your products, but I don't like the way they're sold.
Did you watch the video on, is this MLM? On the site, Katie?
I've seen several on MLM, and I just said to people, would you?
No, hang on.
No.
Katie, you remember the Mind Authority Network, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video on that question, is this MLM?
I may not have, because I'm one of those people that you said, Jim, I haven't been on there for probably over a month. So.
Go back.
Okay.
Go back. I'm going to tell you this right now, guys, and I mean this from the heart because you guys know that I love what I do. I coach really high-end people when it comes to sales. What happens is we give ourselves excuses. Just like you watch people give you excuses, you're giving yourself excuses. Watch Bill Neeson, okay? This guy is relentless. He never lets up. He's always doing things. Most times I post videos, who's the first one to comment? Bill Neeson. He's always on top of his game. You can either actually rationalize yourself to the poorhouse or you can rationalize yourself to the bank. And I mean that kindly and from the heart. Get on there and watch that video where we talk about, is this MLM? That will answer your question for you, okay?
Thank you.
Excellent.
Well,
maybe
absolutely.
to close out, Jim, is there any other, because what I'm running in with people, if they do engage, the people are responding. So I guess the last one would be, any other simple advice on re-engaging? Your icebreaker was excellent. Hey, I'm calling because I know you're probably thinking it didn't work for you. Yes, that was excellent. Is there any other icebreakers that might fit somebody's personality better that you can think of?
Let me, and believe it or not, even though a lot of stuff flows right off my tongue, a lot of times I want to just let it percolate and think about it for a little bit.
Sure.
It's fun. You guys watching the videos. I know you guys, and I don't tell you this for fun, but it looks like I just pop videos up. Some of them just do pop up. Other videos, like the one, is this MLM? That video probably took me 5 hours to put together. I mean, so I think all the way through things, because my job is not just to give you material. I guarantee you go to the site, you use what you find, you'll close business. My job is not just to give you videos. My job is to give you videos that work, material that works. Let me think through that, Bill. Also, I suggest when we started people talked about fear. You said fear. Go back,
Right.
one of the earlier videos, and I don't know if it's video, you'll have to skip back to page 5 or 6 or however many pages we're in now, but it's one of the first videos. And we talk about, it's called the Sedona method. I don't even know if I mentioned that. I probably do. But then when people get into fear, they're actually seeking security or approval, or they're trying to protect themselves in some way. So I want everyone to go back and watch that video if you're getting into any kind of fear about approaching people, because, see, it's so easy to watch a video, Bill, and then say, man, this is good stuff, and then five minutes later you've forgotten it. That's why I put up the first video that's there now is a sheet that you can print out, and you can track all the videos you watch and everything you learn to keep it in one place. But go back and watch that video. It's one of the first couple of videos where I talk about addressing fear. And if you're getting into any fear, use that technique to help you get yourself out of fear. I will think through that more icebreakers, and I'll get this up for us tonight, Bill.
Well, this has been fantastic, and the icebreaker you gave us already, to me, is frankly priceless. You gave us 2 or 3 language patterns here that I just think are genius, and I think will be a huge blessing to everybody here.
Take these language patterns, the little bitty guys, the end ones, if you knew absolutely for certain, it's okay if you're not fully convinced. Take the approach I gave you. I promise you, you're going to be shocked to find it's going to close people for you. Just go out and use it as a main thing. All right, my friend, I'll put this. Go ahead, sorry.
One last take. And Jim didn't ask me to do this. I'm doing this, guys, because I plugged our team, this part of our team, into this because I believe in this as being probably one of the most essential tools you guys and gals need. And so go to epicmindset.info, and there'll be a registration to do this. And plug in, invest into yourself as far as the tools to be effective in taking advantage of this challenge. And that's why I've asked Jim to partner with us and help us, and he's been a huge blessing. Taking this time is priceless. So thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you so much. And I didn't ask you to do it. It was just in the heart. I see this happening, and people can just get a great start if they'll just do it right and start here at the first of the year. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. The recording will be up in a bit, and all of you guys have an awesome week, and I'll see you on the site.